this same song went on this album, and she sold 2 platinum. The same song, and the same song went on this album here.
Okay.
When we recording all this stuff, we didn't have click tracks. Now they got a click tracks to stick in your ear, keep drummers in time.
Yeah.
But I never use a click track, and I never will use one because I mean, you're a drummer. Why would you need something to help you keep time?
Like Bernard Purdy says, you're the click. Like the drummer's the.
You're the click. But the reason why they use a click track is not so much for the drummer. It's because the click track enables you to be able to move. Nowadays, you can move everything and place it anywhere you want to place it at. That's the main reason for a click track.
Now, I was watching a documentary on New Orleans music, and one of the guys in there was talking about, like you were just saying, and then you have a performance that never happened. Whereas when you've recorded All Be Around, that was a performance. That's a live performance.
Live performance.
It's not, you're not, pasting. Like,
oh, no.
You know what I mean?
No
like
overdubs.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
We have never did overdubs. If we come into the studio and the song doesn't sound, if the guys doesn't feel right, or maybe had a bad night, we'll cancel the whole session.
Yeah.
And just lose the money. We come to work like a job.
Sure.
Everybody has a job to do. My job was to create different beats. He might sit down and say, look, play a beat for me. Well, I have to have that mentally hit. Well, let me take you down to my drum room.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
First of all, my name is Earl Young, and I consider myself the sound of Philadelphia. And I call this my drum room. This is where I come to relax. Everybody else goes somewhere else. I come here to relax. Going back to the beginning, let me take you back to the beginning of really how I got started into the business.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. I was born in I was raised in 3 foster homes. Never had a mother and father. I was raised in the streets of Philadelphia. And one of the foster homes that I was raised in had a drum corps, a little bugle corps. And I used to learn how to blow the bugle, and and I couldn't afford no drums, so I banged around on little drums. And then after the parade, I went and got 4 phone books, and I put tape on phone books, and I had 2 Maxwell Hot House coffee cans, and that was my cymbals. And that's how I learned how to play, out of the 4 chairs with the phone books in them. And I used to sit there with the phone books and play them and hit these cans like that until I was able to go to the pawn shop and get a mixture of different. I bought a piece here and I bought a piece there. I mean, I was like 16 years old, but I was still a kid in the foster home, and I bought it. And I had a little combination of different color lugwigs and a piece of things here, and I made a little, I played around, and it wasn't something I just did it. It wasn't something I had made out for a career. I never really went out to make a drum career. It wasn't something I really wanted to do. I just did it, and because I always wanted to be a singer, because I always felt that the singers had all the girls.
Yeah, yeah.
The drummers was always in the back somewhere, and people always forgot about them because nobody knows the drummer in the back. So I never wanted to be no drummer. I always wanted to be a singer. So what happened was I was making little gigs around Philadelphia on 52nd Street and Market. We had little clubs back then. In 1965, there was the Uptown Theater at Broad and Dolphin Street, which I'm still associating now because I'm in the process now of helping the people there restore this old theater there. Sam Reed had an orchestra there, and all the groups from all over the country used to come there and play. That was like the Apollo in New York.
Yeah.
So Sam Reed said, Earl, look, man, because Sam Reed was a saxophone player. It was Sam Reed's orchestra. Me, Norman Harris, and Ronnie Baker, which they deceased now, they were my lifetime partners in the studio. And they came and got me and said, Earl, look, man, we got a chance to go into the Uptown Theater to back up some of these artists. And I said, look, man, I can't read no music, though. He said, you know, so Sam Reed said, Earl, don't worry about it, because most of the artists that's coming there, I mean, I knew all their songs because we used to have basement parties. And basement parties, you know, you buy 45s, man, and you dance in the basement. I danced on all the Spinners' first record, It's a Shame, and Jackie Wilson, you know, Lonely. I danced on all these records, so I knew.
They were ingrained in your head.
I knew, I knew all this stuff. So when it came to them playing up on stage there, I knew these songs.
Yeah.
So what happened was Jackie Wilson was on the show, and Jackie Wilson always took his own drummer with him all the time. And just what happened one time, his drummer, we used to have a little place, we used to hang out down the street from them, backstage at the bar, and he was late. So I had to sit in. I said, oh man, I gotta play. Because usually we don't have to play, you know, we just there for in case something happened. And so Sam said, Earl, you got to play, man. He said, don't worry about it, man. You can play. And I sat back, I said, well, it's just do or die situation. And Jackie Wilson came back and told me, look, don't worry about it. Just follow me. And he went up there, that lonely teardrops. And I just played my little thing, you know, and he spinned around and did a little split thing, man. Look back to me and say, you know.
Yeah.
So I felt good,
right,
that, you know, I wasn't probably what he was used to, but I was able to fill that spot for a drummer for that show. So a drummer got there, and that was like I don't know, that was a big part of my career, just to be able to play with some of these big artists, you know. I mean, and then the Spinners didn't have a drummer, and I had to play for the Spinners on the show, and the Spinners had this song called Fascinating Rhythm, which is a big jazz tune, and that thing was up-tempo. I had never heard this song before. So they came to me and said, look, Earl, all you got to do is swing with it, you know, just swing, man. And I was sitting there. I said, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that song was like up. I had no idea how. Excuse me. I had no idea how the song went, and they were singing and dancing and stuff. So that's how I got my experience, you know, by people having confidence and faith in me that I could do something. And by them having that kind of confidence and faith in me that I could do something, gave me the confidence that I could do it also. And especially when I made like $100, I said, man, I made $100 or something doing this?
Yeah.
You know, because back then, we used to make, back then we made like 12, in the club you make $12 a night, $35 for the whole, $35 for a whole weekend, $35 for the whole weekend. It may sound funny, but the dollar was worth a little bit more.
Was that good back then, or was that still?
It was good in 1965.
Yeah.
You know, $12 a night was good. I mean, it wasn't good, but it was good.
Sure.
You know, it could go a little further, but when you got $100 and then I got $200 for a plan, I said, man, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I said, this is what I'm going to do. So, and I stayed with the orchestra, you know, and then by being in the orchestra, the people that put on the show, like Georgie Woods, they had a record company, and they were producing records. So then they asked the three of us, my guitar player, Norman Harris, Ronnie Baker, and myself, to come into the studio. Another adventure for me that I would never had done before. So I said, to record? I said, I can't read.
Yeah.
I can't read. So Norman was always our leader. He was always the one that could read, and Baker. So what we did, we set up a system. he sat in front of me. He said, "Look, every time I come to a 16th bar or where it should be a fill, I'm gonna play and I'm gonna do like this. And when I do this here, you make a fill." And that's how I learned. You play that thing, and he would say, "Pa pa." That's why a lot of the time, like the Delphonic stuff, "La la" means I love you, all that stuff. It has a feel like pop, pop, doom, boom, and the feel comes in.
Yeah.
Because they were nodding to me and telling me when I should make this feel. Because we had a little system, and I did that for a while, and I go on the studio and come out with a gold record with "Yes, I'm Ready," and then I recorded Johnny C. Boogaloo Down Broadway. This was before Gambling Huff.
Great track.
Boogaloo Down Broadway.
Yeah.
Then I did this Nella Dodge, which was the old artist, and I did a couple other artists, and then we got to be where the three of us was like a unit. You get one, you get three. We knew each other so well that we played in clubs.
Yeah.
So we could tell where each of us was going to. Baker would sit next to me and watch my foot, and he would play off of me, and I would follow Norman. And we had this system going that nobody else had. So when Gambling Huff, they had a rhythm section before us because Gamble used to sing with a group called the Romeos, and he had a band was called Chambers and Rolling Chambers, and they were the session guys, because that was his band, and they played on the first recordings that he did of the Intruders, and then I think they had to go on the road, so then they called us in.
Yeah.
So I came in and I started with Gambling with the love with I Always Love My Mama.
Yeah,
was one of my first songs with the Intruders. And then we did Joe Simon, Drown on the Sea of Love, and all Joe Simon stuff. And then we did, we started doing Jerry Butler, you know, the Iceman thing, and then we did the hits start coming, so the people start coming. So then we started doing everybody. Then the OJs, Archie Bell, I Can't Stop Dancing, Archie Bell and the Dwells we did.
You guys were like a hit machine. You guys were just churning.
So when people say, "Man, they getting hits in Philly, man,"
yeah.
So.
And this was about what time period? Like.
It was just like 65, 66, all around that time there. So everybody was coming to Philly, man. So it was good for us. I mean, look, we did Dusty Springfield. She came in. We did Silly Silly Fool, Brand New Me. Yeah. Then Tommy Bell, he came in. And the Manhattans with Bobby Martin brought the Manhattans in, and we cut the Manhattans. You know, Kiss and Say Goodbye.
Great track.
We gave them hits.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, then we did the MFSB orchestra we put together, and that went on the Soul Train theme, and that became a hit. So everything we was hitting, you know, was
gold.
Was going gold.
Yeah.
So they kept us. You know, I mean, I'm thankful for that because there was other musicians around too, but they mainly used us.
Yeah.
And I was getting to not only that, but I was just overwhelmed because I was meeting people. I mean, you meet Johnny Mathis come in there, Engelbert Humperdinck. You meet these big stars that I would never met. You know, and these guys walk in the studio, man. You say, geez, man, I'm playing for Johnny Mathis, and we did the album, you know, called "I'm Coming Home" and Engelbert, and we did the "A Loving Spoonful" and the Chamber Brothers.
Wow.
So we did artists, and then when Archie Bell hit some hits, and then Wilson Pickett came in. We did Engine Number 9, Don't Let the Green Grass Fool You.
You're on
yeah.
Green Grass?
Yeah.
I love that track.
And what I like that because I don't get a chance to play a shuffles too much, and I always like to play a shuffle like Don't Let the Green Grass Fool You.
You can play that.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't
Can you play that?
Yeah. We don't usually do too many.
Just
shuffles.
play a little bit of it.
Most people play a shuffle like this here, like. But I like to play a shuffle straightforward groove where I have to skip like this here. song more than the skip, like.
It's fat, you know.
Yeah, it's fat and it pushes the singers. I like see my thing is I like for a singer to feel, you know, when he hit a track that he drives behind him, like the OJ's, like the OJ's thing. I love music and
Yeah, great
and
track.
all the OJ stuff, man, is like fire. Now one of my favorite OJ song is like When the World's at Peace. That's my favorite. That was like one of the intros that I made up where it went 1, 2, 3. That's one of the funkiest songs that the OJs had. I don't think it was a single, but it's called When the World's at Peace, man. I love that song.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we cut more stuff with the OJs than anybody. But then also, the three of us, we were doing our own thing, because what we did was, we didn't break a loose with anybody. We just figured, well, we would like to try to start our own company. So we formed our own company called Golden Fleece. We went and got our own record company called Golden Fleece. And we got our own production company, set up our own office, our own business. And we started doing our own thing. Mm-hmm. So we said, well, look, let's get our own group. So I went and got I put a group, since I was a singer, I wouldn't put my own group together called the Tramps. I heard this song by the Coasters called Yakety Yak.
Yeah.
The flip side was Zing with the Strings of My Heart. And it was recorded by the Coasters and Julie Garland. It went like, dear, when you smile at me, I heard a melody. It went that was the Tramps' first big record. That was our first record on our own label, mm-hmm. with our own group. And that was our first big hit. So we did that, and that's how the Tramps got formed. So I went and got one of my old groups, singers from the Volcanoes, because I was singing back as a teenager with a group called the Volcanoes. Well, I was their drummer, and I had another group called Exceptions. We had a record out called Down by the Ocean. So I was recording, singing, when I was like 17, you know, I was doing like, they called record hops.
Yeah.
They were called record hops and hullabaloo back then. So we had records out back then. Back then you didn't get paid though. You know, you had to, they give you a T-shirt and a hamburger, put you up on stage and you sing a hamburger, and you're just glad to get up there and sing.
Right, right.
So when I had B.B. King, one of the most experienced when B.B. King came in the studio.
Was this in Philly?
Yeah, and B.B. King, he walks in there and he said, "Look, don't worry about no music." He sat right in front there, in front of me, and played. He said, "Let's just groove."
Yeah.
You know, and he said, and I hit one of my funky beats. It's old funky groove. Mm-hmm. B.B. King, man. And he started jamming, man, and we just grew. So the album came out called B.B. King in Philadelphia. Wilson Pickett the same way, man. When Wilson Pickett walked in the studio, Wilson Pickett came over to me and asked me what my name was, because I didn't really know him. He said Earl. Wilson Pickett was a stomper. Mm-hmm. You know, he didn't care nothing about no music either. See, one thing about the older singers,
as long as it felt good,
you have to feel. They want that feeling. They don't care nothing about the papers. They want to feel. They want to feel that groove. So Wilson Pickett walked in there and he said, "Look, put it here. This is where I wanted at."
Yeah.
You know, and I could, cause that's my thing anyway, man. He said, "Put it here." The green grass, ooh, yeah. Come on. Engine number 9. Get me back on time. He said, he said, I wanted to walk.
Yeah, yeah.
See, with Pickett, he was like, man, his music, he had to walk like this. And like as long as it walked like. So you got to feel that. He had to feel like, he wanted to feel that groove, man. He had to feel that groove. And as long as you can feel that groove, because it, you know, that's one of the things I always liked about the Memphis, because Memphis, man, they have that walking feeling, man, and I love that. And that's how Pickett was. And that was a hell of an experience for me, because I learned a lot, you know, working with these older artists, and it was something, you know. And during that time, I got a call from Stevie Wonder, needed a drummer to go overseas. And
That was late 60s around?
Yeah.
Okay.
All this happening all in between. So Weldon McDougal, who used to work for them, got me the job, and he said, "Look, Stevie needs a drummer. Do you want to do it?" I said, "Okay." So they flew me out to Detroit, and I went to Japan, and we toured Okinawa, and
That must have been awesome.
oh man, great, and I mean, he's a great guy, man. He's a great guy, boy. Working with him, and
Did you rehearse out in Detroit before you flew out there?
I flew out there. Soon as I got off the plane, I had to sit down at the drums right from the airport. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know the music. You know, I was stumbling. I was really stumbling, because the music the music on the record is never like the show.
Yeah.
The show's always changed. So I had to learn the show, because everything is faster and faster. But it was rough. But I was determined to get through it, man. It was an opportunity for me to work with a big artist, and I did.
Yeah.
But I did that. But I wanted to came back home and go back into the studio. I had to come back in the studio and go to work, because this is what I really wanted to do, is So I came back, and we resumed. Then I went to New York, and we formed a thing called South Soul Records, and we formed a South Soul Orchestra. And I started recording with Vince Montana, who's a great violin player. He passed, and we did that for. We knocked some hits out there, and we did the First Choice. Mm-hmm. And South Soul Records is a great record company to work for. It was Ken Curry Brothers, and we did that, and still came back home and still recorded. You know. And
that was your office.
We did Dusty. And Phyllis Hyman was one of the artists that we recorded. Right before she passed, we did some stuff with Gamble on her. The last stuff. So I didn't really get a chance to really meet her like I did, because I had cut some tracks with her. But I didn't really get a chance to really meet her like I wanted to. But that's basically how the Philadelphia thing, rolled. And what happened as time went by, things got harder. So Norman and Ronnie said, "Look, Earl, man, you're gonna have to learn how to read, a little better, because we're getting ready to do some pretty hard stuff." So Norman and Ronnie, my two partners, took me into a room, and they taught me how to follow a chart. And they saying, "This is just the basic stuff, because we're going to really do some stuff with Tommy Bell, and Tommy Bell is all notes. You don't get too much freedom. You have to read everything that's on the paper." I never had a teacher to come in and teach me anything about how to play at all.
But that's what made you such a great drummer, is because you were coming from that, and you were a good listener,
Well, I did it for I actually played drums for survival, because I needed the money, and I made good money playing. It wasn't something that I went out for a career. Now, a lot of people say, man, I want to be a drummer. I want to be like Max Roach, Art Blakely. I used to watch Max Roach, and Louis Bellson was one of my favorite drummers. I used to go, and he played at the Uptown with the double. He was the first guy I seen with double bass drums. Yeah. You know, and I saw him play, and and Art Blakely. These are the old drummers, and Philly Joe Jones. These are mostly jazz drummers.
Yeah.
And I always want to. I said, I can never play like that, man. I said, never play like that. I said, gee, these guys is like Gene Cope and Max Brooks. These guys is great. So I've always felt that all the other drummers was greater than me because I never had the schooling to be able to learn triplets and all the other stuff that most drummers play. I never learned that because I never needed it.
You never needed it, yeah.
I never needed to be able to play triplets and all up and down on my drums and fancy solos. All I had to do was to come to work and use my head to create grooves. So I always call myself the creator. You know, I was never a show drummer.
I love the groove you play on MFSB, the instrumental.
Which one? The
Yep. Awesome groove.
Yeah,
play that?
It was like that was two grooves we used.
Yeah, yeah.
We used this here. I always like that little double snare skip thing, you know. I always like to play it because that's something I created, that little skip thing like.
Gives it a nice push.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that because see, I used to have a problem in the studio playing, you know, with like me and Joe Target used to laugh because when I play off the rim because I like my snare drum to sound fat. See, a lot of drummers play on the head, like see, it's totally different. That's playing off the head, but I like to play off the rim like this. See when you hit it?
Yeah.
These are different. So when I go in the studio, that makes my drum sound fat. And you can hit, when you play on the rim, you can hit the drum, it ain't gonna bust. You can hit that sucker like, and you get
You're doing butt end too. You're doing the.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I never play like this.
Yeah.
But that's the difference in my sound because it's so fat. I like that like. I like that snare. I like for that snare to hit, man. I tear these suckers up, man. In the studio, I break sticks. I break up sticks like nothing, man. Because Joe the engineer used to get pissed, man. He said, "Stop playing on the rim like that," you know, because because sometimes you hear that. So what he used to do, he would mic me here, and he would put two mics on me. When they set me up in the studio, they put two mics on, one mic on the bottom, and one mic on top, and so it didn't bleed, because this bleed, they used to put a cardboard. I used to have a cardboard thing here, because the hi-hat would bleed into my microphone here. So they used to have to put All these, man, they used to put all kind of things on my drums, man, because of the way I play.
Right. You're playing on these classic tracks, and the parts you came up with are so musical and just feel so good, and that's what made the tracks what they were.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I love to hear. I really do love to sit in be driving somewhere, and one of my songs come on, and you know, because I know the work that went into. Like I hear the stylistic song, "People Make the World Go Round," and I'd be somewhere in the mall or something, and it comes on, and I say, you know, people would never think I played drums on this song here. Then I know the hard work that it took me to cut this song, because this song, like to pull my hair out playing this song with all the time signature changes and what I had to go through. That's why I had to learn with Norman and them, because Tommy Bell was not easy to work. You know, he wanted everything is had to be like perfect. I might be playing one groove like a groove here. I'm gonna have to stop for 4 bars and go. And then 2, 3. So everything is like written out.
Yeah.
So I had to count.
Now, was he a drummer?
No, nobody could show me what to do, but he could write it and tell me what to do. If he did play, I didn't ever see him play. I know he's a great keyboard player. So I go in the studio, I take off my shirt, you know, take off everything so I'm comfortable, man, because I know I come there to sweat, I come there to work. And sometimes when we go in the studio, if we might have a song and it don't go good for 4 hours, it just don't hit, we pack up and go home, or go down to the bar, have a couple of drinks, and just hang out. That's how we used to cut. Mm-hmm. We didn't ever say, okay, let's take like this and overdub. If the song doesn't sound right, if you don't have that feeling, I don't care how much it costs, that studio time or whatever it was, we pack up. We don't pack up because all the stuff sits there anyway. Mm-hmm. We just leave, go home, or we come in there and I'm not feeling good, or maybe you had death in the family, or maybe you had problems out of your girlfriend or something, you just got a bad day. We never cancel somebody out and say, look, okay, bring in so-and-so and so. We said, okay, this is our team, session's closed today. Come back tomorrow, that's it. And that's how we worked, mm-hmm. you know. Because everybody has a bad day. Sure. You know, nobody's going to feel good all the time. So we try to come, when we know we got a session, everybody comes in there prepared, because you know you got to put your best down. So you better get some rest. Yep. You know, you don't be drinking, you know, no drugs, none of that stuff. When we cut, no drugs, no drinking. You know, we come there to work. After we finish, then we all go down to the bar and hang out,
punching the clock, here off the clock.
You know, get bombed out, and you know, cause we have a little corner bar, man. We used to party out doing shuffleboards down there, and that's what we did. You know, and those things I really miss, because I had a great time at Sigma Sound. You know, I'm just so sorry it closed down, because we cut so many hits there. You know, we cut so many hits there, and a
lot of history there.
Not only that, just the fact it's like home, you know. And I really miss that, you know. I really miss that, because all the guys are gone. All my boys are gone now, you know. And all the studio guys that I work with is gone, except for TJ and Bobby. Eli is still around. The music is gone from the real live creations, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you go in now, we got the drum machines. I mean, it's cheaper. I mean, look, it cost me about $85,000 or more to cut my Tramps album, which you probably can cut an album now under $15,000. You know, master and everything. Mm-hmm. So it's cheaper with technology, but you don't get the same thing. And the problem with the music of today is that back then I could tell a Memphis record when I hear it. I know the musicians.
Had an identity.
I could hear a Motown record when I hear it.
Philly.
I could hear California. I could hear like Bernard Purdie when he's playing something in New York.
It's a great point.
When the record come on, I knew I knew the difference in the guitar players, the bass player. You know, oh man, that's Jameson or whoever's. Now, if everybody goes into the Guitar Center and uses the same keyboard and program the same sound, that means that everybody has the same sound. There is no such thing as a Earl Young sound or a Jameson sound, because they're using electronics. So the sound is gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. The identification of this blood, sweat, and the tears is gone, and it's sad. It's really sad because it's like we were never here. That's one of the sad things about Sigma Sound closing down, because Philadelphia International, they closed down their office. Mm-hmm. So everything is gone now, and the musicians is gone. So I'm left walking the streets where, oh yeah, I used to record here, but it's gone. I used to go down to Philadelphia International Records, it's gone. So you pay dues. I mean, I paid a lot of dues, but I learned a lot, and I still love what I do. And I'm so thankful that I'm thankful and blessed that physically I've never been sick, and I can still play my drums, I can still sing, and I can still make great music, and that means more to me than anything. I just feel so blessed to be able to be, a kid from the street, man, to be able to be successful. And I tell a lot of the kids today, I said all the kids now, they want to do it fast.
Yep.
I said there is no fast way. I said you got to go to kindergarten to go to college. You can't go to college then go to kindergarten. I said, look, don't never give up on your dream. If you believe that you can do something, you do it. And don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. You stay with it. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about somebody being better than you. Do what you do. Make your thing happen.
This is Eddie Everett here with the legendary Earl Young for my Sweet Beats.
Partying down, burn baby burn.